Yeah, you know what it is. More time is more time. I'm the monk. Back with another episode of Tapping In. You know what I'm saying? It's good to tap in every now and then just to let people know what I'm going and that. You know what I'm saying? We out here in these streets, cuz. Out here in these cold streets. You know what I'm saying? These cold Bristol streets, son. You know what I'm saying? One second, let me just ask this guy for a lighter. Excuse me, boss. You got a lighter? Can I use it, please? Thank you very much. Nice
No
one.
worries.
Cheers, mate. Left my lighter in the car. Had to take the car for a quick MOT, you know what I'm saying? It's that time. I fucking hate MOTs, man. MOT's gotta be the worst. Hopefully, though, my boy Ali just passes that for me, you know what I'm saying, man? Get the MOT just pass. You know what I mean? That's another year not to worry about the car and that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, today's episode of Tapping In is about mental health, man. You know what I'm saying? Because from COVID until now, we've uh we've lost a lot of people. Lost a hell of a lot of people. Some died, some lost their mind, some fried, you know what I'm saying? Some just deluded. And there's various reasons for why, you know what I mean? There's loads of reasons for why, but fact of the matter is you gotta look after yourself out here, man. It's treacherous out here. You know what I'm saying? Man are moving treacherous out here. And it's very important to look after your mental, you know what I'm saying? Like normally I come on here and I talk about plans, you know what I'm saying? Plans for future streams. But I just had to tap in and just have a little talk, you know what I mean? Cause a lot of people are dropping like flies. So while the aim is to get bread and do all these lavish lifestyle things, that's not the true aim, you know what I'm saying? The true aim is to remain the same, you know what I mean? After all trials and tribulations, you know what I mean? There's nothing better. Like you got meals, but you're mental, like you ain't, you know what I mean? It ain't working, you know what I'm saying? You live in some paradise, but I don't know, you live in Bahamas or something, but you're mental. It won't make sense, you know what I'm saying? No matter how far you get in life or what you accomplish, your mental is the most important. You know what I'm saying? If you got youths and that, you can't look after your youths while you're all mental and that. You know what I'm saying? If you're no matter what it is, whatever aspect of life you're talking, mental health is the most important because you can't do anything without it. You know what I mean? And it's hard times out here. Like I said, there's various different reasons why the global mental health is at all-time low. You know what I mean? Unless you're some big time business, you know what I mean, tripling your profits and that. To the regular degular person on the street, it's treacherous out there, man. Government's trying to squeeze, man. Food, the prices of shit just through the roof. The weather's horrible. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's trying to. Everybody's just angry, man. You try to drive around there at a certain time. You know what I mean? People just stressed, proper stressed out. I'm seeing bare fights, all types of things, you know what I'm saying? All down to the global mental health issue, you know what I'm saying? Bare things. But yeah, man, you gotta look after yourself. You know what I mean? Last thing you wanna do is yeah, put your mental health last and then you're fucked. You know what I mean? Then you're just out there chatting pure shit. You know what I mean? So do everything you can to just look out for yourself. It's important. Very, very important. You know what I mean? Can't be putting your mental health last and trying to get money and you know what I mean? Like I said, you can have money and that, but if you're mental, no point having money, you know what I mean? You could live in Barbados. But if you're mental, there's no point. That's the most important thing you got. You need to look after that. I mean, there's various different ways of looking after it. You know what I mean? Physical activity is one. Make sure you're out and about, putting in that work mentally and physically, making sure that you're just not stuck in one environment. You're outside, you're physical, you know what I mean? You're expending energy. Just more importantly, so it's not just the physical aspect, it's the rest. It's about draining your energy sources and all of them thing there. And making it so that when it comes to resting, you're fully drained so you can get a proper sleep. And that's number two, sleep. Very, very important. You know what I mean? Sleep is very, very important. I hear bare people like, oh, sleep when I'm dead, and sleep is the cousin of death, and rare tear, get money, this, that. Like I'm saying, it's going to lead to your downfall. You know what I mean? So make sure you're getting at least, I say 6 hours, 5 hours minimum. You know what I'm saying? I got a ute at the minute. Ute wakes up every maybe 3, 4 hours on a good day, on a good night. You know what I mean? But even though the sleep's disrupted, I'm still getting about 5 hours, maybe 4 sometimes, but it's very important. Like I said, it's added to the physical side. You know what I mean? Added to going gym, going for a run. The purpose of that is not just to expend energy and make yourself feel better with, you know what I mean, mental stimuli and endorphins, you know what I mean? It's about the double factor of rest as well. And the exercise, making it so when you go to sleep, you're having deep sleep, getting in REM sleep in, you know what I'm saying? Getting in REMs in. And yeah, so it kind of goes hand in hand. And then diet's another one. Like as well as expending energy, getting out of the yard, going for a little mooch, you know what I'm saying? Going for a little walk or something. Or if you're going gym and expending energy that way, you couple that with the sleep inside, the rest inside, and that also is entwined with diet. You know what I mean? If you're just eating McDonald's, if you're just eating KFC, if you're just out here not really eating, you know what I mean? I know a lot of Donnies on this vegan thing. Matter of fact, most people I know that's vegan, they have a mental issue at some point because there are certain things you just can't get from just plants and fruits and berries and nuts and lentils and all them type of things. You need a full balanced diet. It's all about balance, isn't it? We live in a world of extremes where People are even doing the carnivore diet, where it's just strictly steaks every day and all that, or some people doing the vegan thing, no meat at all, and a lot of, you know what I mean? It's all about the in between. In life, you find balance. You know what I mean? That's the most important. So there's three factors there that are all closely linked. You got physical activity, rest, diet, and then also there's the whole trauma side. You know what I mean? A lot of people's mental health's gone down from trauma they've had growing up, issues they haven't really resolved, stuff that they, you know what I mean, think about every night and worry about, or get PTSD and all of those type of things. So trauma is another one. You got to make sure you've resolved past traumas. Um, yeah, you know what I mean. Trauma is a big one. I know a lot of people. That's the final tipping point over the edge. Is when, along with the rest of the stuff they're not doing correctly, they've also got some past traumas they're not really dealt with. You know what I mean? Whether that's a breakup, or something happened to them as a kid, or something's happened to them maybe a year ago. Situations haven't been resolved mentally, and it's just chipped away over the years, over the months, over the weeks, over the days, and that kind of shit. The tipping point for me, anyway, from life experience and that, you got to deal with them things. You can't go forward if you ain't dealt with the past. You know what I mean? The past should stay the past, though. Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? It's not about bringing it up every time and reliving it and re-traumatizing yourself and all of those type of things. It's just about acknowledging that that does affect you in a certain type of way, and that you may need some sort of professional help with that, whether that's counseling, whether that's therapy, whether that's just talking to friends and family, or talking to strangers. Man, you'd be surprised how a conversation with a stranger can change a whole day. You know what I mean? The impact that can be made by just talking to people. You know what I mean? It's not hard to just, you know what I mean? Say you went to the park or something and you just sat on a bench and you see someone else sat there, just having a little, you know what I mean? Start out with a hello and how's your day? Conversation might progress and you might learn something. I've learned a lot of things from random people in the streets, you know what I'm saying? People that's lived. You see a lot of people, homeless people, they've got a wealth of knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Might be homeless and broke, but the wealth in their life experiences and perspectives, a lot of them understand what's real and can't function in the current world, you know what I mean? Because the current world is, it's basically the matrix, it's just illusions, everything's some fraudulent thing, some man-made lifestyles, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of homeless people, and you know what I'm saying, they've got the right idea. You see a lot of people living in caravans and vans nowadays, just from knowing that the pressures of rent and water, electric, gas, council tax. Like, think of all those things that you have to pay to live in a yard that you don't even go to during the day because you'll be working. So you're paying all that just to sleep somewhere and get fresh. You know what I mean? A lot of people realize that's damaging their mental health. So they've decided, I'm going to live in a van and where I might not have the same comforts as a lot of people, I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm in my van. No one's pressuring me for this and that, and I can save. I know a lot of people that got vans and they still work. They're just not down for paying extortionate fees of rent that you've got to pay in the UK. You know what I mean? They're not down for that. Like Bristol, especially, like the rent prices at the minute, because of other people coming from outside and buying up properties and students willing to pay mad prices and all of that. It's not left people with a lot of options. So rent's gone through the roof. Everybody's struggling. So they decided, look, I'm going to take it into my own hands. You're not, you're not going to make me have a mental breakdown with all this fucking paying for shit. What's going to happen is I'm going to get a van and I'm going to live in there and make it so I can still earn, but then I ain't paying extortionate fees. So I'm actually saving as well. A lot of these mans are on big wages and they live in a van and they keep 75% of their wages now because they live in a van. You know what I mean? So by the time 5, 6, 7 years have passed, they got enough to buy a house. You know what I mean? Buy it outright. I ain't got to worry about mortgage and everything there. Like once you bought a house, you still got to pay council tax and all of these things, payments and all of that. Make sure everything's crisp. But it's one less thing off your dome. You know what I'm saying? One less thing you got to think about. So that's 4 things. You know what I mean? That's exercise 1. Then you got 2, sleep coupled with exercise. Very, very important. Big up Shield Strike every time. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, brother. Join the convo. It's good to have other people's input, but you're right, man. But yeah, linked with that type of trauma. What am I about trauma? So linked with good exercise, sleep, diet, traumas, and just the cost of living. You know what I mean? There's many factors to keeping your mental health in check. And like I said, there's nothing more important than that. You could be a millionaire, but if your mental health ain't in the right place, you might as well be poor because it's, you know what I mean. If you're sectioned or you've just if you're not living in reality, then there's no point being rich, is there? You know what I mean? You could live in Barbados. No point living in Barbados and living in paradise if your mental health ain't there. You know what I mean? You could be, don't matter, you could be a footballer, you could be F1 driver, you could be a pilot. No matter what you're doing, you will find that mental health is the most important and has always been the most important. But there's many different aspects to it, like I've just mentioned. I've give you 4 important ones, and there's a few more. You know what I mean? There's a few more that add into the mix. So, like I said, traumas. Make sure you deal with your traumas. Make sure you're talking to people. Don't be isolating yourself. Look, I'm a very introverted person, innit? Like being introverted is how I grew. You know what I mean? I grew up gang settings in the streets and that, but I wasn't talking like that. I was quiet. You know what I mean? I kept keep myself to myself. But there's extremes to that, and you can go too introvert where you're not even being able to talk to anyone, and by isolating yourself so much, the only person you're talking to is yourself. And as people say, that can be your own worst enemy. Talking to yourself, you're just trapped in your head. If you don't come out your yard and you're just trapped in your own head, it can be very, very degrading to your mental health because it's almost like you're in an echo chamber, but the echo chamber is negative. You know what I mean? You haven't got that other side to draw you out of that and correct you on your wrong thought processes. You ain't got someone to check you on your points of view. You know what I mean? You just got yourself and yourself. And if you're like me, I'm my own worst enemy at times. You know what I mean? I can fucking isolate myself and get to a point where I start going through my life and start trying to think of things that I've done or things I haven't done and mistakes and how I was wrong with this, and you just end up beating yourself up and then you see no way out. So isolation, don't be isolating yourself. Make sure you're getting out and talking to people. Like I said, I'm not an extrovert, you know what I mean? I don't like talking to loads of people at one time. I don't like being around too many people at one time. But I do know it's the yin and yang. Life is yin and yang. If you don't know already, that's the most important philosophy out there. Fuck all this other alpha male bullshit. Fucking boss bitch and all this shit. That's all bullshit. That's all fake. All of them people that preach that way of life are mental. You know what I mean? But if you got a balance and you're not overdoing it on either side, you will succeed. You know what I mean? So in the last couple of years, I've learned that being a introvert has damaged me in some sort of ways, and I've had to push myself to be a bit more out there. You know what I mean? The podcast helps with that. You already know what it is. More time. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all that. We'll be doing a lot more of these conversations, as well as all the sports and all that stuff. But this stuff's important. So that's 5 things there that would improve your mental health. You know what I mean? That's proper exercise, proper rest, proper diet, sorting out past traumas. You know what I'm saying? And just acclimatize into your surroundings, man. Making sure you're getting the best for your well-being, your mental well-being. If a certain situation brings you too much anxiety, a lot of the time people would tell you to push through it. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, stiff upper lip and that. Especially in the UK, tell you to push through it and all that type of shit. But it ain't that always, you know what I mean? It ain't always that. Sometimes you just gotta realize what the triggers are and do your best to minimize them, whatever these triggers are. You know what I mean? Like if streaming's one and you get bare anxious and it's just making it to a point where you feel like, I don't know, either everybody's watching and hating or nobody's watching and hating, or it's affecting you like that, then you need to stop streaming. You know what I mean? Same with anything like that. But yeah, there's various different ways of protecting yourself, protecting your mental health, and looking out for people, man. Make sure you're looking out for important people to you, and hopefully they'll be looking out for you as well. You know what I mean? Because it's treacherous out here. Like I've mentioned before, it's very treacherous out here on these streets. Like I said, there's a lot of people even here where I am now. I don't know if you can see, but one tent there, another tent up there. People are living in tents in the park. You know what I'm saying? That's how treacherous it is out here. Not everyone can afford to live in a van. Like if you've got like 20 bags in the bank saved up, I suggest you get a van. Especially if you're not down with paying all these rents and gas, electric, water, council tax, everything they're trying to rob you of. You know what I mean? Make sure you get a van before you have to resort to a tent. But to be honest, if living in a tent in the park is helping your mental health in some sort of way, go for it, man. Don't give a fuck what people say. Oh, you live in a van, or how'd you live in a tent and all this shit. Your life is your life, you know what I mean? And whatever it takes to get your mental in the right state, you do that. And don't watch no face. Don't let no one tell you shit. They're not lived your experiences. They don't know what stage of life you're at. They don't necessarily know where you come from. And they don't know what path you're on to where you're going. So, you know what I mean? That's another factor. There's plenty of factors in why the mental health crisis is a thing. You know what I mean? But there was five that I said, which was sorry to keep repeating, but the five that I said was making sure you're getting your exercise, but that's coupled with rest. Don't be doing too much exercise, burning yourself out, and being like, well, I did the exercise part. It's coupled with the rest. Rest will help that. Then you've got your diet. Then you've got dealing with past traumas. Then you've got lifestyle. Like a lot of people are going out on the weekend and getting smashed just to deal with the life they got to live, and that's no way to live. If you're spending all your dough on the weekends, you're doing bag and packet, and you're getting nipped up drinking beers, and it's good at the time, innit? Makes you feel like, you ain't got nothing to think about, nothing to worry about, all of them things. But in the long run, you're not dealing with it. You're just pushing stuff behind. And like I said, I like to have a little blowout every now and then. You know what I mean? But when you're making it every weekend, making it part of your lifestyle, it ain't gonna help you at all. You know what I mean? But as you get older, you realize like that ain't where it's at. When you're in your 20s, that's probably where it's at. You know what I mean? You're still trying to link gal. You're out here trying to impress and have a good time. All of them thing there. Let some steam off. Have fun. But when you reach 30s, 40s, that don't become fun anymore. That becomes a waste of time. You realize how limited your time on the planet is, and those years pass you by. The amount of times I've got fucked, like I do music, and we've done a lot of shows over the years, and I can't remember them simply for the fact I was just fucked. You know what I mean? I can't remember these good times that if I was sober, I'd have a lot better recollection of. Um, but yeah, people, you know what I mean? You're tapping in with the monk right now. If you're watching, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and join the convo, man. You know what I mean? Make sure you drop a comment. Let me know what you think, even if it's after the stream's done. Let me know what you're thinking, what your thoughts are on mental health and how to protect mental health. I could always learn something new, you know what I mean? So make sure you get involved, drop something in the comments or in the chat. But yeah, you know what I mean? Everybody can learn something new. If you've got some sort of way you deal with stuff that help your mental health and you got any suggestions, let me know, man. It's good to talk about these things, you know what I mean? Because to be real, I've lost a lot of people recently due to mental health, you know what I mean? And it's quite worrying, you know what I mean? Especially with social media. That's another thing, man. It ain't for everybody, man. You know what I mean? It's a waste of time as well. Like, it's good to link with people that you ain't seen in a hot minute and chat shit or promote stuff you're doing online if you've got a business, or even if you just go on there to scroll and look at memes, and you know what I mean? social media can do you in. The pressures of seeing other people's lifestyles. People don't post the negative bits, do they? They only post the positive. So you're flicking through your feed, you see a man in Jamaica, you see a man just rich, man's got a Bugatti, you got these fucking bald-head pricks on there saying, oh yeah, well you just be a man and you know what I'm saying, you just gotta work hard and be a man and you'll get a Lamborghini. Like, them same Donnies are fucking done in the head, bruv. You know what I'm saying? Them Tate brothers, you know what I'm saying, out there doing a Mazzoline, making you think being an alpha male is the top thing. Like, it's not. That man get smacked up anyway. But all that's bullshit as well. So a lot of social media is telling you, oh, you better invest in crypto. And if you're not investing in crypto right now, it's gonna, you know what I mean? And all this bullshit. I don't mean nothing in the scheme of things. You know what I mean? You got that being advertised and pushed on you. You got people's just people's fake lifestyles on socials. That's gonna do your mental health in as well. If you're just looking too much into that and you're not realizing that it's all smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean? Like I said, no one's posting what's like the down parts of life. Everybody's just posting the most glamorous bits of their life. You know what I mean? And then other people going on there seeing that and thinking that's the main thing. It's not. But yeah, socials is dangerous. You know what I mean? Like I said, you're being a lot of stuff, a lot of people's pointless points of views are being pushed on you. A lot of people's fake lifestyles are being pushed on you. You know what I mean? A lot of people's just bullshit, man. A lot of shit. If you didn't have social media, you wouldn't have to really deal with. Oh, there is a positive side. You know what I mean? Especially if you're there's different points of view on there. That's a good thing. It's not just negative as well. But like I said, there's a balance to everything. You know what I mean? Yin and yang is the best philosophy out there. You can't um you can't have two extremes. Like I was saying with the diet thing, you got mans doing the carnivore diet, and they're lacking in other things now because they're just eating meat. They're not getting the right nutrients. You know what I'm saying? And then you got someone else on the other extreme, which is like a vegan that don't eat any sort of proteins, like life protein. You know what I mean? They're eating nuts and berries and lentils and that. But a lot of them go mad as well because they're not. Your brain needs certain things to go at 100%, and we are partly carnivores. We're, you know what I mean? Well, we're basically scavenger diet. You know what I mean? We eat anything and everything, but all that needs a balance as well. But yeah, like I said, social media is one. So we've gone through a lot today. We've gone through physical activity, making sure you get your proper physical activity, getting out and about. But that's coupled with rest. Rest is very important, making sure you're getting your 5-6 hours minimum. You know what I mean? You can't be staying up all night and going mad and doing this and doing that. Ain't gonna help you in the slightest. You know what I mean? So exercise, rest, diet. Diet is very important. Past traumas. If you're not dealing with past traumas uh and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty peak out here. Vishal Day, yo, big ups, bro. Welcome to the More Time channel. Um, I'm from the UK, brother. You know what I'm saying? Out in the deep depths of the UK, where the struggle is real. Where you from, bro? Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like the content, and yeah, drop some knowledge if you got some, man. I'm here to share for people to join the chat and let me know what they're thinking, how they deal with mental health. Um, yeah, how they deal with their struggles. Anything that you got that I haven't mentioned yet, or even if I've mentioned it yet and you got some other way of bringing down anxieties and life stresses and anything that can impact your mental health. Another one I got for you is relationships, and relationships you have with people. Like I mentioned earlier that I'm kind of introverted, don't really like people too much, but you got to get out there. Yeah, but yeah, like I'm saying, relationships are very important. Who you fuck with, who you choose to spend your time with, how you're spending your time with that person, what they're bringing to the table, all of that's very important. You know what I mean? If you're just around downtrodden, down bad, cup half empty type people, it's going to affect you in a negative way. So relationships, that's another avenue in that. You know what I mean? It could be your moms, could be your pops. They could just be bringing you down with their worries, their life worries, and not wanting you to struggle how they struggled, and pressuring you to live a certain way, be a certain type of person, have a certain job. All of that can affect you. You know what I'm saying? I love my nan to death. You know what I mean? My grandma's the matriarch of my family, but at times she can be a bit over the top, and she can want me to do things I don't really want to do. You know what I mean? With 9 to 5 business, and gotta make sure this and make sure that. You know what I mean? And she's not bad enough for me to cut her out. You know what I mean? Not by any means. But I have to remember to take time and remember that. You know what I mean? I can't be around that all the time, even though I love her to death. I've got certain friends. You know what I mean? I choose my friends wisely, so I don't have too much of it. But I have a few friends that, you know what I mean? It's not healthy to be around. Whether they're just too negative about things, or they're living a certain lifestyle that doesn't work. You know what I mean? Doesn't work for me, and or you in your case. And you could be around these people, and before you come around them, you're in a good space, and then you find yourself chilling with them. There's a bit of laughs and it seems all right, but there's an undertone, an energy undertone of negativity and half cup half full. You know what I mean? Or in their case, half empty. You know what I mean? And you got to take time with that as well. Take time with those type of people and how they affect you. You know what I mean? So relationships is another one. So I've mentioned like 7 things in life. You know what I mean? There's plenty more. Like I said, if you got any yourself, let me know. Um, Bishal says, too much thoughts screw up your mind. That's facts. You know what I mean? That's probably one of the big ones as well. If you're overthinking, if you're just thinking about the future, I forgot what the quote was. You know what I mean? But if you're not living present, if you're not just enjoying the present moment that you're living in, and you're overthinking about the past or the future and what the future holds and how you're going to make it, that can be a big mental health breakdown. You know what I'm saying? That can affect you in such a negative way. Um, but yeah, overthinking is a massive one. That's got me a few times where that goes hand in hand with being an introvert and not getting out there and isolating yourself. You end up overthinking, and overthinking will kill you. You know what I mean? Your brain needs rest as well, your consciousness. So it's all linked, it all goes hand in hand. But yeah, it's very important, man. Can't stress that enough. Overthinking sometimes. Why do you think meditation is suggested so highly? Because it's the only time where you get to try and quiet your mind. You know what I mean? You need quiet time, especially now with everything going on. Everything's in your face, bright lights, advertising, flashing people's opinions, this, that, fucking whatever it is. You need time to just de-stress, you know what I mean? You need time to just have your quiet time. Let your brain rest. That's why meditation's such a big thing. That's why it's been a big thing for thousands of years. You know what I mean? Meditation isn't just a new age thing that some hippie suggested to make people just think, oh, that's the shit. Nah, meditation's been a vital part of most things. Most religions have some sort of meditation, whether that's praying, whether whatnot, you know what I mean? Whether that's no matter how you do it. A lot of people like to go out in nature and just chill and and just do it that way. Like I like that. That's more of my type of thing. I'd like to just go out in nature, find a quiet place next to some water that you can just hear, you know what I mean? Like some trickling water of a stream or a waterfall. Sit there and just try and think of nothing. Just listen to the sounds of that and the sounds of the wind, you know what I mean? In the trees and that. That's a big one. So yeah, big up Bishal for that one. Bishal says he's from India. Big ups everybody from India. Big up my India family. That part of the world knows a hell of a lot about what's real in life. You know what I mean? You got that's why I have a lot of respect from for a lot of people that come from that side of the world because their philosophies and their way of life. Oh, it's got its downs as well, like all cultures and religions and places on the earth, but they've got a lot of things right. And like Bishal's saying here, he does meditation, you know what I mean? And he'll tell you, like I'm telling you, how important meditation really is and how to quiet your mind. And some people are like, oh, I find it hard to meditate. I'm trying to do this. Don't overcomplicate it. Do not overcomplicate meditation. That's contradictory to meditation. Meditation is about making things simple and quieting your mind in some sort of way. You know what I mean? Um, so that's very important. Very important. Big up Bishal day, all day. You know what I'm saying? And big up my people in India. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things you can take from people over that side of the globe on how to do things. You know what I mean? But like I said, all in balance, all in sorry about that. Yeah, sorry, I had a phone call there. Yeah, coordinated with everything else. It's it goes hand in hand. Like all the things I've mentioned today. If you go back and you watch what I've mentioned, I'm gonna have to go over it again. Sorry if you've been watching from the start, but it's very important that I go over these things. Is is your diet. Well, no, I started out with exercise. That was coupled with rest. That goes hand in hand with your diet. That goes hand in hand with um, like isolating yourself and your lifestyles and everything. Everything is linked together, and you can't just be doing one aspect of it and think that's going to improve my mental health. You kind of have to be doing all sides of that. You know what I mean? It all goes hand in hand, and the more you can do in each sector, you know, like on certain games, you have different skill trees or different different things you have to gain XP in to get them up to a certain level. And you know, certain games you can't just have attack on 100 and no defense. You know what I'm saying? You can't have all defense, no attack, and no whatever it is, whatever the skill tree is. You know what I'm saying? You need all of them to a certain level. I'd much rather have all of them at 50 than just have one at 99 and the rest on zero. But having a balanced a balanced skill tree in that sense, if you know what I mean, in life, which is to do with if the skill tree is on the topics that we've been talking about: diet, sleep, exercise, relationships, dealing with traumas, dealing with all that type of stuff. If you've got that all kind of, you're working on. Yeah, sorry, I keep getting phone calls, but yeah, working on one aspect of it. You know what I mean? You got to be working on all aspects of that. But but yeah, I'm gonna tap in. I might tap in again later, or maybe tomorrow or something, and talk some more. Maybe go more in depth about certain things, and and yeah, but yeah. Just make sure you're looking after yourself, people. Mental health is everything. Like I said, you could be a millionaire, but your mental health ain't right. You're fucked. You could live in paradise. Your mental health ain't right. You're fucked. Mental health is number one. You can't look after you. I have to go get my whip from the MOT place. But yeah, man, we're gonna tap in later, and yeah, I'll make sure we keep this conversation going and make this a regular thing. Big ups Bishal all day long, coming through and suggesting a couple things. Um, Also big Shield Strike as well. Big ups for coming through. Big ups to anybody watching. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe. More time is more time. I'm the monk. You know what it is.